start again. It's a redskin.
Qualify the Podcast Season 2. This is a fashion and travel episode. We're bringing it back. I told you we were going to talk about it, and now it's here. With me, I have Jenn Ngoie. She is out of Florida, also traveling in and out of Houston. She has a platform that I also thought was very interesting, but her background is, in my opinion, more interesting than that.
I love it.
So it's the nature of what we're talking about today. It's going to be about fashion. It's going to be about travel. It's going to be about Mother Africa. It's going to be about a lot of subject matter. With that, I'm trying to be a classy gentleman. So for those who have not seen me in a collared shirt on this podcast, I know how to dress. Okay, I did a fashion shoot.
Right. You're
Did all
like,
that.
look, this is an easy Saturday,
Oh,
God.
God.
Or whenever you guys see this. But yeah.
I'm a sneakerhead. I don't think anyone can deny this. So,
Okay.
and you can challenge me if you want.
I
Where's
believe
my camera? You can challenge me if you want.
I believe that. No, I love it.
But today, even though I'm in Comme des Garçons, I decided to just spruce it up a little bit because we got a fashion
I
mogul.
love the fluctuation when you not try to pronounce. You pronounce it. You said comme des garçons.
Yeah, no.
I love that.
Again, my camera challenge me. Right. So we're here
Yeah.
to talk that talk. So with that, we brought mimosas because, again, class.
We did.
So cheers to you. Yay.
It's all orange juice with pulp.
With pulp.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fizzy orange juice. So
Kids love soda, so anything with carbonation works, right?
yeah, except you got to keep these way out of reach. Like, don't reach up there. Why do you have the ladder? What are you doing?
Right.
Like,
What are
that's
you
not
doing?
for
Yeah,
you,
they love
right?
the pantry. That's their favorite place to be.
Yeah, a little introduction, and I'm going to let you do the intros on this. I just
Okay.
want to talk about how we connected. I always give my friends and my loved ones shout outs because that's the way this needs to be.
Right.
So shout out to Trent Atkins for setting this up. He dropped the line. You guys are doing a photo shoot today.
We are, yeah. This is actually, we have two scheduled for today. We did one earlier this morning outside, and then we have an indoor shoot that I'm really excited about this afternoon because I usually don't shoot indoors, but I mean, I trust Trent and the talent, him and Doc. It's been some of the shots I've seen so far. I'm like, who's that girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks good.
They are and I know a lot of photographers, and again,
Right.
my background is photography.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how our link was.
Right.
He caught me in a competition, but when we started to talk, because of our mutual friend Trey, he says, hey, you need to talk to Trent.
Yeah.
I talk from a different perspective of photography.
Okay.
Classically trained, I guess you can say, but then also because of what he knows, and he does the same thing,
Yeah.
but he was experimenting with it while I was actually in school for it.
Okay.
So we do have a fundamental knowledge.
Okay.
So we talk at that level.
That level. Yeah.
F-stops and lighting fixtures, right? Haven't had a Kelvin conversation with him yet, but we nerd out on these things.
That's so funny. It's like all of that is so foreign to me. Like when I'm like, do you like the shot? I'm like, yeah, the outfit's great. And they're like, no, we meant the shadows and the lighting. So, it's very interesting to see what people observe about the same thing.
Yeah. And it's a unique experience,
Yeah.
even when you deal with however the person who is the cameraman
Yeah.
has become the cameraman, whatever their learning background is,
Right.
it is totally different when you have a conversation and it becomes like this high level speak.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking about contrast, that's not necessarily going to interest you because you're the subject.
Right.
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 You're like,
That
oh, the
makes
shadows,
sense.
and you're
Yeah.
like, they look good.
They look.
But yet now I'm the little demon on his
Right.
shoulders, like, not good enough.
No.
I was like, shoot that again, right?
Yeah.
No, that needs a more darker contrast. I need
Right.
this plus 50. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
that.
mean, you see these things on your iPhone, right? You can play with saturation, off-white balance. Like you think you know what it means and what it looks like, but
You got
honestly,
no idea.
none, not a clue,
None.
not a clue,
I snarl at filters at this point. So
not a clue.
it's that was unique to me, and I
Yeah.
actually just had this conversation with a previous guest.
Yeah.
And when I was talking with her, she's a trained actress.
Okay.
So classically trained actress.
Okay.
So then in that mindset, we're talking about social media, and this is
Yeah.
how you have to get your product out now.
Yeah.
And to keep the interest engaged,
Yeah.
you really have to be more quicker in process.
Yeah.
And she says, well, that dilutes the art. And I said, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
which was my analogy
Yeah.
for when digital photography came out.
Right.
Now, I may look like a baby, but I was actually in school and they introduced digital photography.
I love that self plug. You're like, I look young.
I look like a baby.
I look.
I shave not to maintain this, but just because it patches still.
Right.
Like, I'm just not a fuzzy person.
So funny.
And it's not to demean any digital photographer, believe me.
Right.
Because I've won color awards. Digital photography
Yeah.
was the next step. It needed to happen.
Yeah.
But from a customer, because you would be a
Perspective.
consumer, from a consumer perspective, it more than satisfies you instantaneously
Yeah.
because you get to have a immediate
An
opinion
immediate, yep.
about
Yep.
what it is you see.
Yep. Immediate opinion, immediate result, and it's just, I mean, that's society today, right? Instant gratification.
It is. There's good and bad to that.
Yeah.
And to a very grassroots learned, photographer, yeah, I could think some classic heads would argue that it does filter and
Yeah.
and kind of dilute the talent
Right.
until you get good. But see, when you're good, you're in question. That's my story. We can talk about me a whole lot later, because it is not about me today. But your flight was yesterday.
My flight what's today? No, my flight actually got in Thursday night.
Oh,
Then went out to dinner. It's restaurant week. I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's almost like every time I come here in Houston in September, I forget about restaurant week until my friend is like, "Where do you want to go eat?" And I'm like, "There's so many options."
There's so many options.
So yeah, got here on Thursday, been here. I will be here until tomorrow night.
Okay.
I love Houston.
Yeah.
I love Houston.
So let's do background.
Yes.
Perfect segue.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to need you to tell the people about yourself.
Yes. Okay. So my name's Jennifer. I have an Instagram and YouTube by the name of customs_chic. I started being serious about both of those things probably like almost 2 years ago. But we'll talk a little bit about that. I was born in the Congo. I have lived in America. We moved here when I was 5. I won't tell you how old I am now.
Not important. Not important.
But moved to New York City. We lived in the Bronx, and then we lived in Mount Vernon. And then towards my middle school years, we moved to upstate New York, Rockland County, lived there for a couple years. And then I moved to Florida, Orlando, Kissimmee, actually, the Kissimmee area. A long time ago. I don't even remember how long it's been. So I do kind of consider myself a Florida girl. I went to I finished middle school there. I went to high school there. I went to college there. I went to law school there. I still live there. So I guess technically I'm a Floridian. But I'm a Floridian, but I do consider myself a world traveler. I am down and excited and happy to get on a plane anytime, to go anywhere, all the time. So I love traveling. And in that, I just kind of realized I love traveling and I love fashion. And I was like, well, how do I mesh these two things together and figure out a way to build something out of that? So I was like, well, there's a platform for all these things. YouTube is one of those places where I can share my travel experiences with people. And what I also loved about traveling is getting to know like the natives, getting to know people, and just understanding and experiencing the different styles there. I think we're inundated with a lot of like European, style and fashion houses and all those things. So that is always prevalent. But just going to different places and experiencing the people kind of kept me more intrigued about travel. And I always make sure to shop in a different country or city or anywhere. It's just part of the experience. And I was like, well, I want to share that. I want to have a platform to share that with people. So I started Customs Chic, and sometimes people think it's like Customs Chick, or they think it's costume. And I'm like, no, it's just it's my play on traveling, or entering a different customs border, but looking or being dressed well at the same time, right? And then at the same time, kind of normalizing, Black women in luxury, because I think that's not the face that we see when we think of luxury clothing. And, we talked about Comme des Garçons and all these other fashion brands, but we're not really represented in those spaces. But we are consumers of those fashion houses and those fashion brands, and we are consumers of travel and tourism. So I figured I'd, throw my name in the hat and see where this goes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You summed this up really well.
Did I? Wow, I felt like
You
I
did.
was like talking for a little while. I was like,
Well,
usually you're supposed to give like the elevator version where
No,
it's
it's
like
cool.
less than.
Well, we just went up 10 floors, so it's okay.
There you go.
But in that, there's some things to highlight for sure, and
Yeah.
clearly that's what we wanted to deep dive into.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But let me platform this as well. She said she went to law school, which you completed law school when?
2011.
2011, which now makes you
A 10-year attorney.
so that is Jenn Ngoie, Esquire.
Esquire.
Esquire. Comma Esquire.
Yes, comma Esquire. Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See, so, we just met, but you deserve a congratulations.
Thank you. No, I
nonetheless.
appreciate it. Listen, yeah, it wasn't easy, right? I mean,
The nature of your platform,
Yeah.
right? And you highlight this with plenty of personality.
Yeah.
So, as an attorney,
Yes.
you're essentially a world traveling attorney.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to marginalize the platform.
No,
That's your career.
Yes.
This is your leisure.
Yes.
So, do you travel for leisure, or do you vlog for leisure, or is it just kind of all tying together?
Currently, I travel and vlog for leisure.
Okay.
But I want to get that into a space where I do it as a career.
Sure.
I think I'll always be an attorney, right? So regardless if I practice or not, like I know tons of attorneys who don't practice. So I think the non-practice of law does not equate to you or does not negate your attorney status.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm going to retire from practicing law. I don't think I ever did. It was something that was on my to-do list. Like my dad is a lawyer. I've always wanted to be like him. And I thought, well, he's a lawyer. He can do it. I can do it.
Sure.
So, I believed in the dream and I did it. And then I thought, okay, well, I checked this off the to-do list. What's next?
Yeah.
So, I would like to get to a point where this like fashion and travel is something that I do as a career and not necessarily for leisure. I mean, I'm always going to enjoy it, right? But yeah, I would like it to be something that actually like brings in bigger streams of revenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you're on the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what interests me about your platform,
Okay.
Actually is probably more the Instagram side than the YouTube side, only because I think I'm doing 100 miles an hour, so I can see pictures faster. I can
Yes.
process that faster than video. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
At this time, but when I really do sit down,
Yeah.
okay, now the platform makes sense. Now, your platform on YouTube has outfit changes, right? So you're
Yes.
doing outfits, you're discussing all that, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm just never going to wear them. Okay. So I would look at the pictures.
Right. Yeah.
And then say, okay, no, this is a good
Yeah.
picture. Right.
So that's an interesting point too, because it's like, people consume things at a different rate and people consume things for different reasons, right? I think the people who like to sit down and be entertained, that is your YouTube audience. They will, sit with you, spend time with you, allow you into their space because it's more than just the instant, 15-second reel or, 60-second or however long Insta story. Your Instagram or my Instagram tribe, they want it instantly and they want it all the time, right? So there's different needs that you're kind of like appeasing because people like to consume information in different ways. And that's not to say, like when I'm on YouTube, I also have to be conscious of like, is this too girly? Because I do have male subscribers, right? And I do have male, I don't want to say fans. Fans is so...
I think fans is appropriate though.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go with fans. I do have male fans or, let's go with fans.
There's an interest bracket for both male and
female.
Binary. Both male and female.
So I have to figure out how to also keep them entertained. So my outfit changes, when my brothers watch it, they're like, okay, you changed an outfit like 7 times. So, but I think if I mix it in there, I'm like, okay, well, this video, we're going to go and travel to the Congo and I'm going to take you guys with me and expose you to culture or to Houston or whatever it is. So I always try to like mix it up. And I know I say fashion travel, but I bring lifestyle into it because this is a lifestyle. How I travel, how I dress, how I do all of these things, it's my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you guys are really interested in it, which is awesome. Like,
yeah,
I love that.
I think there's a niche market for almost anything.
Yeah.
However, just because I'm a hiatal athlete, I'm not former, but because of the nature of competition, to me, it very much interests me to understand where someone sits in the talent pool in a larger pool.
Yeah.
Right. We can talk about hip hop, and we do.
Right.
And we can talk about sneakers, and we do. We really do. But it's...
I'm going to ask you about a pair of sneakers I learned of the other day. I had no idea these were a thing.
Shoes. What you got?
The fear of gods.
Which ones?
Okay, so I didn't even know they were a thing. I did a YouTube video with one of my friends who's also a sneakerhead. And she had the most beautiful shoes. I didn't even know anything about them. I didn't know they existed, but they looked like these very like spacious, Like if the Jetsons came down today, like those are the shoes they'd be.
It's like the ones that rode up a little higher on the
A little
on the
higher.
shin
They're black, and then they come with like
the cross.
Yes.
Oh, those. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the. So it's an air raid base. But here we go. Yeah. That's the. It's an air raid based platform. Somebody would argue that that's the Jordan 8 platform as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's not.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But the cross strap.
Yes.
That came out when. Here we go. Tinker Hatfield made this Jordan platform that had a cross strap on it.
That you know all of this
Got
is
to.
very. That I mean,
I'm
it's
a nerd.
very impressive. No, it's impressive. It's impressive.
I'll try to break this down to someone who doesn't care. So,
So show the work. You know how your math
Right.
teacher used to tell you, how did you get to that? Look, all right.
right. So he makes those shoes. Nike says, well, those sell really well. Let's make something, a decommissioned style of that shoe, and that's called an Air Raid. So
Gotcha.
an Air Raid and an 8 are the same platform.
Okay.
Fear God,
Yeah.
being a custom
Yeah.
designer, right? So those are going to be the high end.
Yeah. She told me the price point, and I was like, they're what? What again?
Yeah, there's some more expensive ones out
Yeah.
there, but those are exclusive though.
Yeah.
Right, and which makes in that level of sneakerheaddom.
Right.
Just made that up. And that level of sneakerheadosity.
You heard it here first.
Right? Trademark that. That makes it an exclusivity point that most people would really like to get.
Yeah.
But the price point is what drives the exclusivity. So
Right. Right.
limited production makes it exclusive, and I'm not talking about resale, but
Right.
like limited production of availability in
from the
retail
onset. Right. Yeah.
makes it exclusive. Nice.
Yeah.
Or high-end pricing, like you have a Louis Vuitton, right?
Yeah.
So high-end pricing would make it exclusive because
Right.
not everyone, you have to be in a different tax bracket to get it.
To get it.
Right? And that's what
Absolutely.
Fear of God comes in.
Right.
And I think they're a really good design. I think this is a very futuristic design for almost all of his shoes.
Yeah.
Almost too futuristic for me, in my
Yeah.
particular taste. But I'm a eclectic collector
Okay.
because I was around during a time frame where you would be murdered for your Jordans.
Yeah.
So that's and there was no re-releases.
Right.
There was no
They
such
were just
thing.
there. Yeah.
There's that. You kids don't know what it's like. Yeah,
Exactly.
but no, those are very, very nice shoes. So very nice design. So
Yeah, they are very sleek. That's what caught my attention. They were nice and sleek, and I was like, wow, those are nice.
yeah,
And I can appreciate beauty in anything, right?
Sure.
So sneaker, sandal, 5-inch stiletto,
right.
I like it all.
So the two things that I wanted to highlight
Yes.
for the sake of rabbit trailing
Yeah.
is a world traveler. See, that
Okay.
normally stamps a 10 plus country
Yeah.
passport.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're there already.
We're there. Yeah.
And then also the fashion and lifestyle that you provide once you shop.
Yeah.
So we have a very good thing in common. Number one, multi-passport holder. But
Yeah.
number two, the nature of what I do when I'm there is that I want to kind of be amongst the people.
Right.
I rarely stay at resorts. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather be in town.
Yeah.
And then we'll just figure out where the fun and or danger to be had from there.
From there. Right.
And I get
Because
the
there's
feeling
always
that
fun and there's always danger. You just got to
Always.
figure out. Yeah.
you just pick your poison.
You just pick your poison.
All right. So let's list off some countries. So when a person is traveling, right, and you're like, oh, I traveled the world, like, where all have you been? Right? It's a natural question.
It
right?
is.
So-
Yeah, this is not bragging, right? This is it's just what you talk about. And then from there you're like, "Oh, I went there and I did this, I did that." Okay, so I have been to I'm going to try to do this in alphabetical order. I'm totally going to suck at that though.
Okay.
I'm going to include, states, countries, all that stuff. I've been to Alaska, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Bali, I've been to Canada.
Don't shrug
Colombia.
Canada. Canada's nice.
Colombia, Brazil. I've been to. It's very cold there. Iceland.
It's like it's cold in Alaska.
Iceland. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Rwanda. I've been to Israel. I've been to Ghana. I've been to the Congo, obviously. Right underneath the Congo. Gosh, it's escaping me. Tanzania.
Well, pardon,
Yes,
but you're from the Congo.
correct.
Demrock or Rep?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I guess so. Democratic Republic. So we're the bigger one. The former Zaire.
Gotcha.
Former
Okay.
Zaire.
Cool.
I've been to London. I've been to Britain. I've been to Italy. I've been to Spain. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Japan. I did a summer, not a summer abroad. I did like a, when you go away for school, I forget what it's called. I was in Japan for like
Foreign
6 weeks.
exchange.
It wasn't foreign Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah,
Okay.
foreign exchange. Let's say that.
Was it like grade school or was it like college?
It was college. It's got a term. I
essentially-
forget.
Yeah, I know what you want.
Yeah.
To do, though,
Study abroad. That's
Study
what it
abroad.
is. Yeah, study abroad. I was like, it's gonna come back to me.
Yeah.
Japan. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to.
Where's my camera?
That's all I can think of right now.
Cool. Well, you certainly listed them.
I've listed some, right?
Yeah.
Some.
Mainland China?
Mainland China. Yes.
You did mainland?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So that's those are the ones that I can remember for right now.
Yeah.
But
So,
there's so many more places I want to go.
so I could keep you here forever just talking about how many places we have in common,
Right.
which I think is beautiful.
Right.
And you know, honestly, I was doing that. I can say that I'm of the world travel lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think most people that know me would agree with that. And it's
Yeah.
not really a facetious thing. But it's the nature of understanding how that works,
Yeah.
understanding how life works,
Yeah.
how living within those communities work,
Right.
and also being an anomaly in those
In
communities.
those communities. Oh, for sure.
There ain't
sure.
no one else out there that looks like you.
Oh my gosh, when I was in Japan, this older lady, and I realized that she had never seen anyone black before or anyone of color aside from a Japanese person.
Sure.
And it was early in the morning. I was on my way to class, and I got off the bus, I remember, and there was like this bakery that I used to go to because they had these French pastries. And I'd grab one every morning on the way to class. And I got off the bus, and she stopped me in my tracks. And, you know, normally you're not supposed to touch black women's hair, or just you know, touching people you don't know is probably, it's a faux pas. Like, you probably just shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
But I could just see in her eyes, she was like, wow, she's a real person.
Yeah.
I had braids at the time, which, you know, obviously it was a protective style. I was far in Japan. I didn't know who was going to do my hair.
Right.
But she touched my braids, and she touched my face, and almost like, is she real? And at that time I realized, oh, she's never seen a black person ever. And she was elderly. She was probably like 80 plus.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, to live 80 plus years to have never seen someone who looks different from you.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
80 plus years back in whatever year that was.
Right.
You would almost have to. Where in Japan were you? Were you on the island or main? Island?
No. At the time I was in Kyoto, so I was on the main.
You're in Big Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you. Like, you have to be either really sheltered, but it dawned on me that, like, she's not an anomaly. There's plenty of people who have never experienced other.
Yeah.
And name whatever you want as other, but they just never experienced it. And I thought, oh, I don't want to die that way.
Sure.
At that point, I had already developed an affinity for travel, right? I had already this desire. I was already exposed to the Hispanic culture. I have, a sister-in-law who's from Argentina. So I was like, okay. And I live in Florida, so that's pretty heavily, Spanish or Hispanic populated. So I was like, I want to do something different. I saw Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai, and I was like, wow, that looks cool.
Touchy movie to try to.
I know.
I
know. It was.
I get it. I get what you mean.
Yeah, Japan seems cool.
We're gonna try to find a better example than that one.
I'm speaking my truth. I'm just being honest.
No, I get you.
So I saw that and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But at that point I decided, I was like, yeah, this is not how I want to live my life. At least this is not the way I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Having never been exposed to other, and whatever variety that comes in. I just,
I think that's I respect it. I mean, I relate to it as well.
Yeah.
Because once you hit a few different places outside of the normal community brochure, you know what I mean? Like when your friends are
love how you phrase that. Yeah.
Because
that's
you're
what
going to hit those marks, but
Yeah.
granted your budget, your availability, your blessings are available.
Right.
You're going to go further.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to be trapped in that box and say, well, how many times can we go to Cancun? Right? Like, you can only go to Cancun 3 different ways, by the way. Right? So you're either going to fly there or you're going to take a boat there. And if you take a boat there, you're going to stay there for 8 hours. Right?
You're going to be there for a while.
So the only other option you got is extend, the week in jail because you went there by either boat or plane. There's only 3 ways you can do Cancun. And one of them ain't fun.
And, and this is not a slight to, Caribbean or tropical. I mean, you can get tropical in the south of France, right? So I think it's like, after you've been to those all-inclusive resorts, and there's nothing wrong with them. I just came from one, had a blast, it was a wedding. I loved it.
Sure.
But when you walk outside your balcony, the settings are pretty. I couldn't tell you the difference, right? If you blindfolded me,
Oh my God.
and I walked outside of the patio and I saw beautiful palm trees, like beautiful blue watered pool, and the kids only is to the left, and the adult section is to the right. I couldn't tell you if I was in Dominican Republic,
Right.
Puerto Rico. I've never been to Puerto Rico, but Cancun,
Just came back.
Belize. It's I couldn't tell you the difference. So I thought, let me not allow these trips to be the trips of the year, right?
Sure.
These are the ones that I'll take frequently because wedding, I'm there. Free weekend, sure, why not? But then I also discovered, hey, depending on where you live in the States, you can go to Paris for the weekend.
It's not
On a
hard.
weekend.
It's a
not hard.
9-hour flight.
It's a 9-hour flight.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all. If you live in Miami, you can probably get to a lot of places very quickly. Take a red eye, wake up,
Be
hit the
there.
ground running.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
So the question.
Do we need a refill?
Please go ahead and refill. And pardon me for my reach. I can't get to you. I would normally do that.
No,
myself.
you're fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can just champagne me.
Okay.
I've had enough vitamin C this morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm good.
Okay.
That's cool. Appreciate it.
See, that's where my juice would stop, and
Fizzy grape juice.
fizzy grape juice. That's what it is.
That's what this is. How many languages do you speak fluently?
Speak fluently. Okay, so I'll say 2.
Pardon me. I'll take a step back.
Yeah.
How many languages can you speak conversationally?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Which are what?
So I was born speaking French. So the Congo was colonized by Belgium. So we
French
spoke.
Belgium,
Yep. French. Learned English, obviously, when we moved here. And then, so Swahili is the maternal. Well, no, it's not the maternal language. So Swahili, native of Kenya. So what we speak in the Congo is probably like a patois of Swahili. Ours is not pure. It's like a slang version. I can understand everything. I can repeat some phrases. I am not as good in phrasing terms as I would like to be. But it's a beautiful language. Every time I hear it, it makes my heart smile. Spanish, I'm not gonna die, right? Like if I went to Spain, like I'll be able to eat, and then I'll be able to like find the bathroom or at least get directions.
Sure.
And I think that's it. Japanese, like I said, I did the study abroad and I learned it, but I'm like an information pump and dump kind of person. Like it's here until I need it, and then when I don't, it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stored somewhere here, but it's like how often do I reach for Japanese in my day to day?
Right.
Not. So.
Yeah. That's interesting to me, and we're very similar in that regard too.
Yeah.
So I'm good with English, clearly.
Well, not everybody who speaks English well. So
yeah.
Kudos, right?
Thanks. That has come with years of either obligatory and or self-obligatory correct speaking.
Right.
Not for any other reason other than I talk how I talk.
Right.
I text and talk the exact same way. I think you
Right.
know that.
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Like, so for me, I don't change up. Long
he does.
time.
Yeah. He does text and talk exactly the same.
Nonetheless, so rabbit trails, right? So that's your fault. That's fizzy grape juice.
Fizzy grape juice. Fizzy grape juice 2, Hassan 0.
There you go. The reason why I brought that up in terms of the languages, right, is because as far as many countries that you've been in, clearly a lot of those have completely different languages, right?
Yes.
And so my question to you then is, what is your feeling?
Yeah.
Do you have anxiety, apprehension, or anything? I'm assuming that you don't.
Yeah.
About traveling somewhere where you would not speak the language.
No. I think, and I don't know when this happened. Like English has become a universal language.
Sure.
And I think most countries who are open to tourism, or open for tourism, I should say, speak English. Or at least enough that, you can converse with someone and understand what they need. Or there's just like, when in Rome, I've been to Rome. I said Italy already, so.
You said Italy.
Yeah. But no, so you literally have to like figure it out. Like I'm one of those people, like, again, when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? Learn a couple phrases. It won't kill you.
And they like it.
And they like it. And you're kind of honoring, the place where you are. You're honoring the people, you're honoring their culture. And you're going to get hungry. I mean, you got to know something. Obviously, we have Google now on our phone, so it makes it a lot easier, but it doesn't bring me any apprehension to travel somewhere where I do not know the language.
The Google Translate.
Yeah.
on my phone
Yeah.
saved my life in Germany.
Yeah.
Like it was
Oh,
so
I've been
good.
to Germany. Yes.
You said Germany.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Oh.
You did. But so and even with me,
Yeah.
I don't speak Deutsch.
Right.
Now I can read it and I can
Really?
understand it. Thanks, Dad. I can read it and I can
thanks,
understand
Dad.
it.
That's not an easy language to.
Conjugation ain't happening though, right? So like that's just not going to fly. And then also the difference between speaking to a woman versus a man.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
There's
even
a
if
lot
woman's
of
speaking to you.
Yeah. There's a lot of like male, female pronouns, and
Yeah. That ain't happening.
Yeah. Even
But-
in French too. It's like.
But I could not get stabbed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and that's
right.
a plus. Like I know when the setup's happening.
That's the
You know?
most important, right? As long as you know how to get back to wherever it is you're sleeping,
Right.
and you know how to get a proper meal,
Yep.
and sometimes just point and shoot. Like, here's the menu, ask for some pictures, or look at what someone else is eating, and you're like, oh, I'll take one of those.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
then
And even to ask
but
them,
did
what are
you
you
die? Right? Like
Right.
that's like the phrase I always use. Like, okay, so we don't know.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to asterisk what I was going to ask you because I'm sure you got your thoughts together.
Okay.
Let's just talk about your content.
Okay.
Okay. So for fashion blogging,
Yes.
do you call this blogging or vlogging?
I call it vlogging because I think blogging is very specific to like having an actual blog and, putting out written content weekly, bi-weekly, whatever people's schedule is. I'm not there. I don't know. I mean, I think naturally brands want to see content produced in a variety of different ways. So, they want to see your pictures, which is the Instagram. They want to see the video content, which would be either the YouTube or the TikToks or, anything film related. And then they want to see your written product. That doesn't mean you have to be writing it. You can have a ghostwriter, but they also want to see that. So they want to have, various avenues as to how they can pull consumers from you. So that's why I think blogging is very specific. I think vlogging is the video form of doing that. So I would consider myself a vlogger.
Okay.
Or I don't know if people still say that. Maybe people just say YouTuber. I don't know.
Quite honestly, I think it's a dying term.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone say vlog, but they were a little bit older than me.
Right.
And we have a tendency, even
Right.
though we're, the space is new. So
Right.
to say you're new in the space is juvenile. But
Yeah.
but the space is new. But the wording that you use really indicates your age.
Right.
It's like, hey, YouTubes.
Right.
You're like, that's a senior citizen. Like,
Even just, I think even the term influencer, I think that's new too, right? It's
Sure.
maybe a couple years old. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, Y2K, we thought the world was going to shut down. And to think now in 2020 that like having an entire career off of your life and influencing people either to shop this, to be this, to go there, eat there, sleep there.
yeah,
Who would have thought?
I would have never imagined.
I read something the other day that said that the content creator or the influencer world will be at $38 billion by 2031. And right now it's only at like 17. And it was just a way to tell people like, you have room, right? Like if this is your dream, definitely, don't stop now, kind of keep pursuing it. But yeah, it's insane. So
I'm gonna date myself, and I'm gonna say I blame MTV. And the reason,
Really?
here's why.
Tell me.
Here's why. Number one,
The real world.
we're going there.
Yeah.
But number one, you said Y2K.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, there's a person right now that's legally able to drink that has no idea what you're talking about. None.
I know.
Like,
I probably just dated myself. Yeah.
You could have been 5. It's fine, right? But there's a person who's saying,
No
what's
idea.
that? Like now they're Googling
idea.
Y2K.
No
and it's going to be encapsulated in the definition of what it is.
Yeah.
Let's just summarize this, okay? Like we thought the world was going to end. People
In
were
2000, right.
in,
It was
in 1999, 11:59 p.m.
everybody was clutching the pearls and breathing what they thought to be their last breath.
There was jugs of water buried in the backyards. People took money out of the ATMs. Like it.
What were they gonna do with? Because
Well, if the world was going to collapse, the last form of currency that you knew would be
okay.
money.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
And then when that's all done, you have to
Then it's
establish a new
like-
form of currency.
Yeah.
It's prior to cryptocurrency. You just have to keep up with the dates. Okay. Like don't get me to start throwing out the
Right.
C word.
Oh my gosh.
Conspiracy. I don't want to do it. All right. So in choosing, yeah, they're changing the terminology. Absolutely. But they're not moving the goalpost. This is still the
I
thing.
agree.
But
I
the
agree.
reason why I blame MTV
Yeah.
is because MTV long has stopped doing music videos. So it's not really a platform, although This is the KFC rule, okay? Music, television, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I don't know. A part of me feels like that was a reaction to society. I don't think because I think people stopped watching music videos. I mean, remember like sitting down and being excited about 106 in Park, right? It would be like somebody would come in and they would debut the latest video and that would be the thing to do. But I think as the world sort of progressed and streaming became a better way to do this, or you can just post your videos online. It was, this is the easier and faster way. I don't have to wait to debut this on a show for them. Like society just kind of moved past music videos. So I think a lot of networks reacted to that. I don't think that was a proactive measure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
However, we're skipping a decade.
That's true.
All right. So when
that would be us. So what did
yeah. So that when Real World came out,
yeah,
that in my opinion wasn't a reaction.
Right.
It was an experiment.
Yep, that's true.
Right. So
that's
Big
true.
Brother-ish, whatever. Right. But it was an experiment of documenting someone's life. Putting essentially rats in a cage and just seeing how they work. Instead of rats, we did humans. And we did all these personalities.
Yeah.
So here's a true story of 7 personalities, blah, blah, blah. Picked to live in a home, right? They told you what was up.
They did from the beginning.
But because it was such a gigantic success, they said, I don't feel the need to put money in the previous business model. And so they started to siphon money into this.
Yeah.
Also, it was around, nerding out, also it was around the same time that actors and actresses started to really require more money in order for them to be a part of a show.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go from $200,000 an episode to $1 million an episode because they knew what their worth was.
Yeah.
And say, well, that's cool, but we're the network, so we don't need you. We'll just start pushing reality shows now.
Right.
Because there's a person that's willing to sell their soul to be on TV.
To be on TV. And,
for the love of Ray J. Flavor of Love. So, you didn't do Flavor of Love, did you?
I didn't.
I'm just asking. I gotta ask.
I haven't done any reality.
I gotta pick which party I'm gonna offend.
I did though. This is very interesting. So not the firm that I am with now. The firm that I was with before. I got really friendly, or not friendly. That's okay. That sounds like it's gonna go down the wrong place. Okay. So I got really well acquainted with my supervising partner at the time.
Sure.
My supervising partner at the time, and she was like, "You should try out for." A reality TV show, and I was like, no, this is why would I do that? So she was like, I'll do your profile. So I'm like, okay, and I legit got picked. Like went and did like a couple interviews, and then COVID hit, and then the world ended. But so yeah, but I have not successfully been on a reality TV show, but I was on my way.
If that's in your wheelhouse, that'll probably be in your future. I think you have a bubbly personality for it.
Thank you, but yeah, I don't think I would do it now.
And then think about it too. World travel lawyer. Yeah. Right? Foreign American. Yeah. Multilingual, pardon. That's the bubbly. Just that's a lot. That's a lot on a resume, right? In terms of personality. And a platform already. Yeah. You have a pre-existing platform. Yeah. You come with the value. Yeah. It's actually less work for them. Yeah. I don't have to sell this person.
You don't. Right? I'm telling you.
I was a closed book. I kind of still am, but I was a closed book when it came down to this. And they want to make a character out of you. And I can't give you all of that.
I think that's probably a lot of people's reluctance, right? It's like you either have to like sell your soul,
or have a really good lie.
Or have a really good You have to either become this different person. And I think that's the part about reality TV that's a little bit scary. It's like you have to either send a representative and then not be true to yourself, so then people can see through that, so they don't like you. Or you have to be yourself and people won't like you for that. Yeah. Which, okay, thanks.
But which one of those ever sells more, you're fine with. Right. They're selling and marketing to a group of people who can appreciate that. Right. Or at least look at it for the downfall. Yeah. Because people watch stuff for totally different reasons.
Oh, absolutely.
And for me, I wasn't going to be on TV that long anyway. It would have been maybe 5 episodes.
It's like
total.
One of those elimination shows. Okay.
So it would have been that, and if I made it to the top, I made it to the top. And okay, cool. But it wouldn't have been season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Where I garner some fame off of being.
And then you like evolve, right, with the audience, and then they see your growth, or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
I mean, because there's some people who continue through seasons and there's no growth. Like your Nene Leakes or like your Cardi B, like they capitalize on these reality TV, and they use it to catapult their amazing careers. Yeah, which is what I think you should be doing, right?
Make it work for you.
Make it work for you. I think it's a platform that you're given to, and from then on, it's either sink or swim, right? Like, we're going to open this door for you, or maybe we'll open the elevator door for you, and how high up you go depends on
you.
And I don't know if it's like sheer luck. I don't know if it's, hard work. I don't know what it is, but
It's a mixture of both.
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, so
Yeah. Yes.
countries.
Oh.
Just going with your favorites. I don't have a top 10 or a top 5. We can just
Okay.
fire yours off and we'll
Okay.
compare.
That's okay. I like that. I will say, and I'm not saying these in any like order of preference.
Okay.
I'm just gonna name them, and I chose these because of the experiences that I had in these countries. Morocco.
Oh my God.
You know I was gonna say that.
No, I didn't.
Israel,
Okay.
Italy, South Africa, and Bali.
Okay.
Indonesia. Sorry,
just
I'm
for
so
the-
sorry.
for
Yeah,
the
I'm sorry.
masses.
I mean,
Okay.
for the masses. I apologize.
Yeah.
Indonesia
Indonesia was not my favorite.
Really?
I was not where you went.
Where
but
did you go?
I was in Jakarta.
Oh.
And I was like in Indo.
Oh wow, you were. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was there.
There. Yeah, and
Um,
I did go to Seminyak, but Seminyak is also very touristy too.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, quite honestly, never really wanted to go to Bali.
No,
No.
I
not really.
will. I mean, I chose it because of its like just the natural beauty.
Mhm.
The people were always very nice.
Sure.
But I felt like everywhere I turned, it felt like a very picturesque moment. The grass was always green,
Yeah.
like a beautiful green,
Yeah.
right? Like the rice fields were always like plush and thick, and you would like, if you look very carefully, you can see women kind of working in them. The mountains were beautiful, like the sunsets were. Everything about it just felt. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you felt like you were in a trance. I felt like I was in a trance. I'm like, every time I turn around, everything was so like beautiful.
Yeah. I get that.
And it was easy. It was a very easy travel experience. Granted, it was far. My God, today it was far.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was far to get there, and it was far to get home. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had so many layovers in my life.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. Israel was beautiful because I think I did that with my cousins, and it was just like a really good trip. You kind of, I don't know, felt like the Bible was coming to life.
Wow.
Um,
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All Morocco.
Morocco.
You got to tell me about Morocco.
So Casablanca was a bust. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. It just was.
Okay.
As a French speaker, I was excited because I was the only one in my travel group at the time. There was only 4 of us, but like in the group of people that I went with, I was the only one who spoke French. So I was like, yes, I'm going to be, leading the charge. And I got there, and first of all, our bags were delayed for like 3 hours because the airport, I don't know, people were on strike.
Yeah. Morocco.
It was bad. And I mean, I was born in the Congo, so I know disorganization when I see it, right? And I know TIA, this is Africa. I throw that around all the time. Like, you have to have the most amount of patience when you
Sure.
travel to Africa. A lot of it because disorganization but it was just terrible. And then we landed, our flight was already delayed. We had missed our flight. We had missed our original flight. Our flight was delayed. We get there, our bags are held up for like 3 hours. And we get to Casablanca, and it's a lot all at the same time. People are yelling, and it's, Arabic. It's just, and then when we got to customs, anyone who held a non-American passport that was darker skinned was being played like they made them like pay extra money. And I'm like, this is just, I mean, come on. Like so that experience was not great. And then we still had to drive to Chechuan, which was like 3 hours away in the middle of the night. But Casablanca, I didn't enjoy it. I would go back because I want to go to, is it Tangier? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tangier, and I would love to go to Marrakesh.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
okay. Morocco is on my all-time list.
To go?
No, I've been.
Oh, you've been. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I know you've been.
Yeah. Tangier, that's my namesake anyway. So
Is it?
from King Hassan II.
Okay.
But so I went, and I
Okay.
kid you not, I had an epiphany. So like
Really?
in Tangier, in a coffee house on the patio in Tangier.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
and
I love
everything
that.
became evident.
From there, yeah.
So that's always number one for me.
Yeah.
For a multitude of reasons. You didn't put Thailand, but but your Indonesian description is my Thailand description.
Experience. Okay.
The lush, the beauty.
Yeah.
I think I might have dropped a tear or two on that beach. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I was kind of like, man, I don't even know if I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
You know, like this is
beautiful.
that pretty.
It is beautiful. I mean, we did Bangkok, and we
Okay.
also did Phuket.
I was in Phuket.
Yep.
And Rawai. I lived in the village. I was in Rawai.
Oh, nice. Okay, we wanted to go there, but we just did not have enough time. But we did end up making it to the Florida market, which was, also a good experience. But I mean, Thailand was also beautiful. One day I think we just kind of ventured out. We were like, no plans. We're just gonna go out and get lost, and then get unlost.
Yeah.
But the people were great. The food was great. I mean, obviously, anytime I go to Asia, I always have a great experience. I think the only thing Casablanca was just a dud for me. But in Sichuan, we had a great time. The people were great. I mean, I guess it didn't really help that it was like a dry city.
I mean, if you want to party it up,
Right. There's places
there's places to go, but boy, you got to find them. And you need to pay the right person to take you there.
I had that experience, or I had that perception about Dubai.
Exactly
The
about Dubai.
The first time I went
Yep.
to Dubai, I was like, girl, no, you're not gonna catch me out here.
Like this.
Let me tell you, I was so covered up,
Yep.
so covered up. And then we just went early. Oh, actually, you know what? I meant to put Maldives on there. We were in Maldives earlier this year too.
Hadn't been there.
But so the second time around, everyone's like, well, you've been to Dubai. How is it? I'm like, girls, like, we just can't. Like, we need to be super conservative, yada, yada, yada. So a couple of my girlfriends, like, flew in a couple of days before we did. And they're sending us these pictures of, like, bathing suits and stuff like that. I was like,
You're at a hotel. Yeah. Let's just cut the BS. And you're gonna get somebody arrested when they come over there and it's like, we're just going thong out outside in Dubai.
I was like, absolutely. I mean, one of my friends, we were in the mall, and they asked her to cover up because they felt like her cleavage was too much. So I mean, I think it's a hit or miss in Dubai. Like, you can have a very good experience. The first time that I went, the friend that I went with, she was like, oh, I don't know, it was a little bit like
Super conservative.
yeah, super duper. But
if you
want to party, you can also party.
you can definitely find some
in
parties
Dubai.
out there.
Oh my gosh, today, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
fun times.
At a hotel.
At a
You
hotel.
did keep that in mind.
Yeah, at a hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Even our cab drivers, or our drivers, when we went to do like the safari and all that, they were still very much like, you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and luckily for us, we did our group this latest time traveled with 2 men, so we were comfortable in that way. But there's still a very patriarchal, overarching speak when spoken to, even to the tourist.
Yeah.
Even so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're in their town.
Yeah.
You know, it's
when
like,
in Rome.
hey, like, look, we appreciate you coming to spend some money.
Thank you, but
we will lock you up for 40 nights.
They do not play about their customs, which, you know what? I'm not mad at that. Because if you
gotta
don't
have
enforce
some level of
them,
integrity.
yeah, you do. Because if
Yeah.
you don't enforce them, then it gets lost.
Yeah.
And then you get quote unquote westernized, you know? So some people, you want to hold on to your culture, then by all means.
That's the best reception I ever got.
Right.
I get to Dubai. I go through bag check line first because I know how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
I said, let me just get the bag check.
Right.
They said, brother, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I said, bag check. I said, no. Please go over here.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
Well, they certainly know how to treat a player around here. All right then, 'cause I can just sit down right here and have some strawberry juice.
Right.
It's fantastic. Like,
Strawberry juice.
This is the type of treatment that one would like instead of being arrested.
Because, you know, they're like, I mean, the sentiment is like guilty until proven innocent. At least that's the way the interrogation goes, right?
Sure.
It's not factually based. It's just they go off gut instead of like real evidence. You know,
and
so
then they bring in more people because they think you're going to be a problem.
Right.
So, well, now I'm going to be a problem.
So now I want to know, why do you have 50 people in here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you're not finding what you're looking for because there's nothing to find.
Sure.
So.
Because I know you have a photo shoot to go to. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And I really enjoyed this too.
Yeah,
so
same.
I think we definitely need to do a part 2. But I will.
I agree. Because did we hit all of our points?
Most of them.
Okay.
No, we're going to wrap up with one that we absolutely have to hit.
Yeah.
Right. But before that one, I'm going to do my Morocco.
Yes.
Thailand.
Okay.
Hong Kong. Ultra biased. Belize.
I've never been to. I'm supposed to go to Belize this summer. I mean, summer's almost over, but this fall, I guess.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And then also the United Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah, family. So,
okay.
so I am.
Okay.
I'm very biased to them. Now, I've had great experiences outside of them,
yeah.
right? But those would always be high on my list because I always feel so good when I go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know my freeway system where I live better than I know the infrastructure of Hong Kong. Because, I mean, it's just so,
Right.
you have to walk that, right? You have to walk it or take the MTR,
Yeah. Or yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
for me, it's
Which
just, I learned.
mean, by far, they have the best subway system. I mean,
It really works.
Clean. It's efficient. It's like, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
Very, very impressed. It's air conditioned.
It is.
The entire thing is air conditioned.
Yeah.
It's
And
underground.
fast.
And it's underground.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes America can't get certificate. Yeah.
My only bail that I shoot about this
You know?
is that they were able to do theirs later.
Yeah.
Whereas, the New York system is
Right.
very old. Right.
Yeah.
So like,
that's true. Okay.
you got to re-dig and burrow.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to do that.
No.
So they're just reinforcing old structure.
Right.
Hong Kong had not a head start,
Yeah.
but a head start technologically.
Right. Because they studied what was wrong and
Right.
they did it better.
Infrastructures of the British metro system as well as the American metro system.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is what I've found of a lot of Asian countries. They don't necessarily create.
No.
But they can perfect.
they can definitely improve a platform.
Oh,
can't they?
listen.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
they're like,
Let me
oh, you
tell
want to make iPhone? Let me get you a whole bunch of other tools you forgot to
Let
put
me
on
show
there.
you the J phone,
Yes.
which is so much better than that crap you make. Oh, and also we make yours.
Right.
So, like, let's
Yes.
just throw
So
those
we
two
know.
out
Let's just throw it out there. Oh my gosh.
goodness.
Yeah. No, Hong Kong is great.
there. Now, you did it earlier, but please tell the group where to find you.
Oh, absolutely. You can find me in these streets. I'm
In these
outside.
In the air. You find me in the air as a world
You can
traveling
find me in the
lawyer.
air at a local airport near you. No, honestly, if you are looking for me on Instagram, you can find me at customs_chic. If you are looking for me on YouTube, same name, customs_chic. I am very personable. I reply to all of my DMs unless it's weird. Like, don't send me anything weird.
Yeah, don't send pictures.
Like, yeah, don't send pictures. Don't send me like I just get the most weird requests. Like, people will send me something like complimenting like a body part or something, and it's strange, right? So don't send me any of that. But say hello. I love to meet. I hope to be at New York Fashion Week in a couple of weeks. So if you're gonna be in New York City, slide in my DMs. Let me know. We can meet up. If you're in Houston, what's up, H-Town?
Hey, there it is. All right. So Jenn Ngoie,
Yes.
Customs Chic.
Yes.
Came through, sat down. We had fizzy orange juice while we recorded this beautiful session. I really appreciate it. Now, there is something that we didn't, and we'll table this for later.
Yeah.
There's something that we didn't discuss, which was the choosing of the education. You touched on it briefly. The business model also
Yes.
that you operate under. We didn't talk about that, so
Yep.
that's our part too.
Oh, got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's
All
do
right.
that.
So for that, this is Qualify the Podcast. I'm your host, Hassan. You can find me on all digital streaming platforms as well as YouTube under Qualified, the podcast, or QLAFD trademarked. See you next time.